Hello Stampers, I'm Dina Lanzendorf at Inkin' with Dink, and today is Technique and Tip Tuesday. So what I wanted to focus on for this entire week is scraps. Okay, I know a lot of you have scraps, paper scraps, and I have a hard time throwing them away. But when it gets to be this time of year where there's a new Stampin' Up! Catalog coming out, it's time to go through and clear out the old to make room for all of the new stuff. So I always find things like this, which are just all the scraps from certain paper packs that I have been hanging on to because I love the paper and can't bear to throw it away. So like I said, this week I will be focusing on lots and lots of things to do with your scraps. And today I want to actually make a card with you using up some of these scraps. So are you ready to get started? Then let's do this. So the scraps that I'm using today, all of these strips are all from the Gingham Gala Designer Series paper, which was a celebration item, but you can do this with any kind of Designer Series paper scraps that you have, okay? So we're gonna start off, I need a card base, and in this case I'm doing Highland Heather, and this one measures 8.5 by 5.5. I'm just going to take it, I'm going to fold it in half, going to use a bone folder so that my crease is nice and crisp, okay? Now I'm going to pull out a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this one measures, grab my ruler real fast, this one measures 4.25 by 3, okay? And this is what I'm going to focus on now with all of my scraps. Okay, so I'm just going to grab some of my strips out here, and these strips are all, it looks like, about a 1/2 inch. Okay, now they can all be the same size strips, they can be different strips, whatever you want. And I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back of the first one. I'm going to start up here at the top corner, and I'm just going to start laying down, I think I'll do it this way, start laying down strips of my Designer Series paper. Now, you need to make sure as you're laying them down that number one, they butt up against each other, and number two, your strips are long enough and hang off of both ends, okay? You don't want to be short on one, so you want to be sure that you get it long enough so that it's hanging off of both ends, okay? So let's do a little green, and I'm just going to keep going, okay, and randomly placing my strips. I'm not doing any particular order. I'm just going to kind of randomly put them on here till I have my entire piece of white totally covered. I think I keep moving these a little bit here so they're not touching. Good thing about the Tombow is that it is easily movable. Okay, and then let's do this one. And on this Designer Series paper, I am going with the same size of my squares as up. You can certainly alternate them, or like I said, any other Designer Series paper that you have that you want to do strips with will certainly work. Green one, we'll do that right there. Let's see, what color do we need now? How about a yellow? So some of my strips even are not as long, and that works fine when I'm getting down here near the end. So I'm going to do that color again. Let's do a Grapefruit Grove, I believe this is. And then finally, we got just a little piece here. Let's do, I got some little strips of blue. Let's do just a little piece of blue right there. Okay, so kind of give that a second to dry. And while that is drying, I'm just going to set that aside a little bit. I can get it picked up here and let it dry a little bit while I do my next step. Okay, So the stamp set I'm going to use here today is the Butterfly Gala stamp set. That is carrying over into the new catalog, so I'm very excited. And I'm just going to be using the stamp that says, "You've been on my mind." I've decided I'm going to send some cards to some of my customers that I haven't been to class for a while. So I just want to let them know that I've been thinking about them. Okay, and then I also want, pull that stamp pad back again. I'm also going to put a butterfly on my card. So let's stamp the little one. Let's do 2 in case I feel like doing 2. Okay, so there are the 2 butterflies that I stamped. So let's get our butterfly punch, and let's punch the little butterflies out. Super easy. I love the stamp sets that have coordinating punches with them. Okay. And let's go back to this. This should be dry enough to work with it now. Okay, so once you have this piece, okay, you need to turn it over, and that's the easiest way to trim it, is to go from the back side. So you're just going to go all the way around of your white piece of cardstock, and we are just going to trim off all of these extra ends here on all 4 sides of our cardstock. Okay, got all the gluey pieces off my scissors and off my placemat. All right, so now we're ready to work with this card a little bit. So now I'm going to take this piece. Oh, that looks really cool. I like that. Okay, we're going to turn it over. We're going to put some adhesive on the back. I'm just using my Tombow, and I want to kind of come down a little more toward this corner down here. Okay, and I didn't get my card folded just right, so let's see if we can't straighten that out a little bit. All right, so we got that there. Now I've got my words here. Okay, I'm going to trim this so it's a little shorter, and let's trim this end so it's got a little flag end on it. We're just going to kind of put that right like that. Now I think I want that to pop a little bit, so let's get some dimensionals and let's pop that up just like that. Okay, now I'm ready to put my little butterflies on, and I really like them in black and white because the background piece has enough color on it that we don't really want a lot of color on the butterflies. I think they're going to stand out better if they are in black and white. So let's just put a mini dimensional on the back of them. I do think I want 2 on here, and let's do 1 there. Let's do one up here. Okay, there you go. So there is my fun card that's using up some of my scraps. And you know, something you can even do when you're ready to do the inside of your card is, how about if we put some adhesive on the back here, and you can put a strip inside your card. Okay, again, just a way to use up some of those extra scraps of paper we've got, rather than just throw them away or recycle them even. Go ahead and use them up, even on the insides of your cards, just to add a little pizzazz. So there you go. So I am having my Facebook Live tomorrow afternoon, and be watching because I'm going to have lots of examples of cards and projects that you can do using up some of your scraps. So please share my video with your friends, and thanks for watching.